Phone look like it's about to die. Just went for another run, walk, jump rope, whatever you want to call it. Whew, warm outside today. Try to do as much as I can. Short period of time. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions about teaming up with outside organizations, whether you want to call them a nonprofit, but all nonprofits are for a profit. Anybody have any questions? Let me go get over here in the shade. It's hot. Google and move. Woo. How we doing? Thank you for viewing my live. Uh, so as you can see by the name, Wag Realty. If you have any real estate questions, just want to talk. Um, if you want to know about how to, buy rentals, how to keep them rented out by, teaming up with nonprofits, Red Cross, uh, Habitat for Humanity, not Habitat for Humanity, but what do you want to call it? The homeless shelters. They got programs. If you're a co-tenant, you want to know how to maybe handle a situation with your other tenant. You can just ask that question. Just I believe it was Ryan. Just walking. I was doing a run walk, getting a little too hot, so I'm calling it a day. Did a couple miles. So, but if you have any questions, you can ask them. There's other organizations, other things out here. I guess you could say you could team up with certain jobs. I know with certain things going on with illegal immigrants. Not everybody is from Mexico that's over here working. Some do have job visas. Some are from like El Salvador, Honduras, other places like that, and they are legally able to work here. So there's people that need need places to live. I can talk to you about how to find those. Um, Got to burn up trying to walk in the shade. Can't find none now. But like I said, if you have any questions about foreclosures, how to um, possibly avoid the foreclosure, where to find properties, what bird dogging is, um, you know, dealing with anything with real estate, trying to avoid evictions, handle eviction, handle a clean out after eviction, whatever it may be. Um, just here to help everyone out. If you know someone else that has any questions or would like to know anything, you can contact me. Um, on here, share the live, whatever it may be. Hopefully, you can see me a little bit better. Becoming a little cooler now. I guess clouds are blocking the sun. But if my phone dies, I'll come back on. Ryan, if you're not following me, you can go ahead and follow. I'll follow back. Just trying to build a base. I have a podcast also, Real Estate for Beginners. Um, I have a YouTube channel, Wag Realty LLC. And of course, you can find me on TikTok, Wag Realty LLC, and on Instagram, Peachtree Property Management. That's where I do my DBA, yeah, DBA as. If you want to ask questions about how to get licensed in your state, you can ask that. But yeah, I'm just, if you don't mind, you can hit the like button a couple times just to be able to have TikTok push my live out. This is just my second or third time going live. I'm still new to it. But if you have any questions, I see someone else logged in. Have any questions about real estate, you can type it. I'll try to read it as fast as I can. Excuse the sweat. I'm going for a run, walk, did a couple miles. Appreciate you liking my live, Prime. But, like I said, I do a lot of stuff. Hey, traffic picking up. Do a lot of stuff for free. My podcast is free. Of course, you can always donate if you want to. But I've been doing my podcast ever since the start of the pandemic. Um, and so I think I'm up to like 400 episodes. And my YouTube channel, I'm not sure how long I've been doing that. I think I started my YouTube channel a few years before the pandemic. Been in real estate. I was a realtor, but I've been in real estate since probably 2012. So somewhat during the height of the recession, maybe 2010 actually. 2009, 2010. Yeah, 2009, 2010 is when I got into real estate. Bought a couple foreclosures online. Never done a foreclosure, or I guess they were auctions. Used to be a realtor, and I used to work on um, foreclosures and stuff like that. But I never bought one from a county office, if that makes sense. I know the process, but right now it's a little tough. But you can still find houses I bought. My last house I bought, I got it for free, um, somewhat free. Then a house before then, I bought for $1,000. Another one before then, I bought for 1,500. So buying deals like that, they are a little harder now, but still possible. Whew, finally home. Let me hit the wrong button. I have to open my door. Let me see. Would you buy your first house? No money down. Would I buy my first house? No money down? Um, sure. I mean, I guess a lot of things depend on that. The interest rates. Some people say no money down, but then they pay points. Um, unless you're putting down a crazy amount of money dealing with points, and points are to get your payment um, down and to pay you. Basically, you're paying the interest um, up front right then. So a lot of people don't pay points. I mean, some people do. Um, so I mean, they may say, "Oh, I bought it with no money down," or somebody else's money. Sometimes it just depends. You have to be you have to deal with a lawyer that knows these certain things, that do like a double close with certain things, or may that know how to deal with gifts. I guess you could call it. They'll call them gifts when the money didn't come from you because they want to see your income. They want to see like maybe about 5, 6 months bank statements and stuff like that. Um, so when you buy with I guess you could say your first house with no money down. you're still you got to have some type of skin in the game. Those type of opportunities are hard. Back in that, I say in the maybe somewhere in the '90s, but the '80s, for sure, when they did no doc loans, that was completely. I guess all the way to the '80s, '90s, 2000s, and then that's why we had the crash when they legitimately did no money down. That's why we're in the situation we're in. So I don't think we're ever going to do no doc loans or no money down. But would I buy a house with no money down? Oh, sure, sure. Um, I mean, you probably gonna have to pay points, but yeah, no money down, sure. Um, Now, with interest rates, I don't think. I mean, it may be a while. I mean, we always have crashes every 15, 20 years, but it may be a while before we have another crash. And so the interest rates, you people look at it because I guess in the around 2000. 8, 2006, I say 2006, 2012, 14, we had real low interest rates. Basically, you can still find some. I got a house. I have one house with a mortgage, and my interest rate is in the threes. Um, but in the '90s, I would say in the '90s, '80s, somewhere in the '70s, interest rates were 14 to 21%. So even though interest rates now are not going to be 3%, 4, 5, or 6, that's somewhere in between 6 and 8. Um, they're still low. So I mean, a lot of people. That's why a lot of older people, Gen X, baby boomers, they're still buying, and it's the millennials. I'm a millennial. I don't know if I'm a late millennial or in the middle, um, however that works. In the generation below, I don't even know what their generation is. Generation Z, I guess Gen Z. Um, we probably wasn't aware of it, a lot of us, and we look at it like, oh, before we could buy a house, oh, you 3%, 2%, and now it's up to 8, and we're like, oh, it's too high, it's too high. Only thing that's really high is the price of the houses, where they had 14 and 20%. The house only costs like 30, 50, $60,000. Um, so, the way I look at it now, if the interest rates um, stay the same, even if the interest rate go down and it makes the houses easier to lower interest rates, I won't say easier to buy, the price of the houses will still go up because more people are going to be wanting to buy. They say, oh, it went from 8% to 7, 7 to 5, 5 to back to 3. These houses that were 150,000 now probably 360. They're probably going to go up to close to 500. To be honest with you. So, I always tell people buy when you can. It may not be your ideal home, whether you're trying to live in it, make it your forever home, or make it an investment. Start somewhere. The longer you wait, a lot of times, it's just going to go up. And then if you get caught in a bad time, with rental properties, you still can rent. Rent hasn't dropped since 1940s, at least in the United States. I don't know where everybody's tuning in from. Um, Hold up, let me see. Let me keep reading. How do you find foreclosures online? Um, so foreclosures online, it used to be, I forget, like when I was a realtor, we had not necessarily a national database. It was like almost like U.S. FHA loan foreclosures, but Hudson and Marshall, which I think since everything started going haywire, I think it's just Marshall now. They don't really do too many of them. Auction.com is real popular, so it's a little harder to get into now. Foreclosures, you can always find them. Go to the um, county office. I mean, county, what do you call it, courthouse, and they have a list of them on the wall. Sometimes they're close to right when you walk in after you get one in through the metal detectors, or um, they're going to be close to where foreclosures happen, like evictions and stuff like that. It just depends on where your uh, how your courthouse or whatever is set up. So Hudson, well, it's either Marshall or Hudson and Marshall Auction.com. Um, I mean, you can still go to Zillow, and they bought Trulia and stuff like that. You can use any one of those. You can drive for dollars, so you can drive your local areas and see. But if you go to like most of the websites for the county is like GEO data, and they'll pull up. Sometimes you have foreclosure on the main page, and you can look at those. Oh, okay, I see it. Um, is Zillow had a bad when I was a realtor. There was an agreement that Zillow would not compete with realtors, and there is a difference between being a realtor and a broker. It's just basically one's a union. A realtor is a union that's the ones that are able to carry the R on their chest, or have an R on their book or whatever. When I say chest, like a pen, that just means you bought into an organization. Um, and so Zillow made a promise that they wouldn't compete with realtors. As you can see, when you go on the to Zillow, they have realtors like former like myself. They just pay money. X what's it EXPO deals with them a lot, so they did compete. You can't trust people when it comes to especially big time corporations. They have stockholders to pay. Um, so what was that? Zillow. They bought out Trulia. They bought out Apartments.com. Trulia bought out Cozy. I think it's Cozy Homes. I use Cozy Homes also to list rentals, and just let them handle it. But yeah, Zillow, they were getting in trouble at first and they still got in trouble recently because what they did during COVID, hopefully I can say COVID on here, they started buying up houses and they were buying them at a high price, thinking that the market's going to go up, which it did, but they were buying homes at a too high of a price, and now they was trying to sell them, and then they were selling them. They had to unload hundreds of thousands of homes at a lower price, but it allowed them to get a little bit. I feel allowed them to get more of the accurate data, and allowed them to manipulate the market to determine the accurate or precise data of these homes. Because Zillow used to have like I think they still have its estimates, and these estimates used to be off. But now those estimates are more accurately reliable because now they're dealing with the MLS in a way with the realtors and getting that accurate depiction of what a property should cost. So you can deal with Zillow. Um, and Zillow they're supposed to update. They're trying to like the MLS. If you don't take a picture down, take certain property down after it's closed, you can get in trouble. So it's the same thing like these realtors. Wherever you post it, you're supposed to take it down. So that's why when you go to Zillow and you type in a certain address, it could be super old pictures, or it looks like it's a whole nother house than what it was because Zillow has to take it down, and the realtors probably helped them take it down. Um, Use the app Har. I never heard of that before in Zillow. Um, but yeah, like I say, just become comfortable with it. I'm gonna say this, and other realtors or other investors say this also. Um, Look at about 100 homes. Learn your area. There used to be these magazines I used to get from the gas stations. I don't really see them a lot, but it used to be like local listings, and that's how I first learned the market. So I could determine the market just based off those magazines, and I go look at another house or drive around, and I learned a ton of zip codes. Um, and so, I deal from in the state that I'm in. I deal from the bottom of the mountains all the way to the coast. And so I can almost tell you every zip code possible. And there's certain areas that are a little harder because it is about location. And so it's some areas that never went through a recession. Don't let everybody lie to you. Not every city, not every state went through the same type of recession. Some cities didn't go through a recession. So you can't really always go off of what the mass media is saying. I'm gonna go. And try to charge my phone. Looks like it's about to die, but I'm gonna stay on here. But yeah, I mean, you can use Zillow. Zillow's a cool website. It is, and like I say, it is somewhat accurate. Charger. But if you have any more questions, I can answer them for you. Um, how do you find prices of houses? Um, Basically, that's you can do the hard thing and the old school way and go through the county. Now the county is not going to be updated. If you go to a county website, they're supposed to update them, but they have a little bit more leeway or time to post them. and you can see what it sold for, what it you may not be able to see what it listed for. Um, but I say if you go to Zillow, you can push, excuse me, you can push sold, and I don't know if you can go back and change dates, but you can see what sold in a certain neighborhood or a certain area. Um, what else? Um, I mean, like I say, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. Um, what else? And that's probably it. Unless you're willing to pay a realtor to send you the MLS and you can see what sold, and the MLS will tell you what it sold for per square foot. Um, and then certain things when you buy houses, you can't just go off of square footage. And sometimes you can get the square footage of a house not by measuring in the inside. We had to go through trainings of how to measure a house. So, because we were so-called responsible also, even though you have an inspector and stuff like that, county website is still, fiduciary duties as a realtor. Supposed to be able to do as much as you can, see, make sure when's the last time the septic tank, if it has a septic tank, if it's on sewer or city water, county water, well, and measuring the house. So there's a lot of stuff that you can find out through, um, Zillow or the county, but then some of the things you can find out for yourself. Um, excuse me. Hold on, let's see. No. That's what I'm saying. Not the ones that are on sale, but the ones that are sold. Zillow will tell you what's sold. Also, not sure Redfin would do it. Trulia may do it. I mean, Trulia and Ref and Zillow are the same. You can go to the county website, and if you see a house, like I say, I mean, mostly by driving, you will see, you'll see all these for sale signs and are sold or pending, and and sometimes they'll tell you. Sometimes Zillow even update you. But if you pay a realtor and get to see the MLS, you can see what homes have sold for, what the inspector said before the inspector even, before you even put a contract on the house, they are listed on the MLS so everyone can see it. So that's why a lot of people they try to get to the MLS because it's more updated. It's right then. Um, what did I do? What did you do after you bought your first house? What fees are you looking at, and how soon? Um, Now you got different ways of buying houses. So you have FHA. Um, when brain dead, FHA, conventional, um, USDA, good neighbor next door. And so all these will determine your interest rates. All these will determine if it's something on the home that has to be fixed. Usually, if it's a foreclosure and the bank takes it back, they have a certain amount of time, or they have to rip out the carpet. They have to pressurize the house. If the deck is not pressure treated or they see any damage, they'll tear it down. So if you do a FHA or USDA, is similar, or just like a VA loan. Um, they'll tell you, all right, you have to make these repairs. You pay, and sometimes I think this is what happened with me with my first house. It was a foreclosure. I bought it. Um, and when I bought it, I had to pay 35 or 3600 down. Um, something like that. And then they gave me like $3,000 back because it was contingency. I guess since certain things didn't get fixed, the siding and stuff like that, they gave me $3,000 back based off if I would have fixed it. And some of the stuff you can probably fix for a little bit, probably about $200-300 back based off if I would have fixed it. And some of the stuff you can probably fix for a little bit, probably about $200-300. Looking at, I basically paid $500 because they gave me like $3,000 back to fix the siding, fix the floor in the kitchen. And then they say, "Oh, we're gonna come back and we're gonna inspect it to make sure you fix it." They're not coming back. Um, and then you're supposed to stay in there with the FHA or USDA loan. You're supposed to stay in there 2 or 3 years. I think it's 3 years before you can rent it or sell it. They're not coming back to check that either. Um, the fees you're looking at, depending on when you buy. If you buy, sometimes I say before November, you're looking at you got to pay that year's taxes. Cause I think the taxes, if they wasn't already paid, taxes are due in September. That's county and whatever else. You're going to pay any type of back liens on that property. So it's best to call whatever county that's in, deal with a lawyer from that county, call that county courthouse, and it's a representative that a lawyer that deals with foreclosures or whoever, and ask them, are there any liens? Sometimes they'll miss it. I've had properties where I bought the property and they told me that there was no fees, and turns out it was like $14,000 worth of fees. Still a good buy, so I ended up buying it anyway. But I called for like 2 or 3 years. They said no, nothing's owed, nothing's owed. I just had a funny feeling that something's going to be owed, and it ended up being like 14,000. But that's not typical. So you got if you're dealing with a loan, it's going to cost you more money for closing, but it's going to be built into your loan. At least with the new rules, I'm not sure. The older rules, what I mean by that is, you could used to charge like 6% or 3% goes to the closing or the selling agent, and 3% goes to the selling agent. So you got a seller's agent and selling agent. So basically, in layman's terms, you break it down to the one representing the seller, one representing the buyer. Um, so that's going to be built into the loan also. Used to be. So if you buy with cash, I think the close, unless you're dealing with um, what do you call those places in Philadelphia and Virginia? Commonwealth. Commonwealth will charge more, but it's like $600 for a closing attorney, maybe about $45 or so for a filing fee, um, any type of back taxes. You're going to have to pay the originating cost for the loan. I forget that price, maybe $1,500 or so. Um, so you may be looking at, maybe say I looked at 3,500 to close, probably another built in the loan. Some of this has to be, oh, the title search. Title search is in there also. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And so, like I said, it's just different things that all right, he checked out. How you doing, Lewis? We're just talking about foreclosures, title searches. Be right back. How we doing, Maxie? We were talking about foreclosures and other things dealing with real estate. If you're a tenant, we can talk about tenants' rights. Um, Whatever you want to talk about. Hopefully, you're doing well today. Just got through with my run walk. Decided to get on. Ain't nothing much. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. This is just my second or third time going live, so I'm new to this. But I try to talk about almost everything. Guess you done checked out on me. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. How we doing? I'll follow you. Follow me back. We just talking about real estate. Let me see. Just talking about real estate today. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. Hopefully, we're doing well today. Just having my phone sitting off to the side charging. We're talking about real estate. How we doing? We're just talking about real estate today. Have any questions? Were you dealing with foreclosures, dealing with how to find properties, um, or if you are dealing with how to handle a tenant, or if you are a tenant, wanting to know how to handle a certain situation. I try to answer all questions, anything dealing with real estate. I have a podcast. I probably started it right during the pandemic. I have a YouTube channel started a few years before the pandemic. But I've been in real estate since 2008, 10, I want to say. So, um, you want to talk about real estate? I just got done with my run walk, so I'm cooling off before I go for the rest. Get started for the rest of my day. Oh, how we doing? If you want to talk about anything dealing with real estate, I'm here. If you want to be, I mean, if you're a tenant, want to know how to protect yourself, how to get rid of another tenant, or how to handle yourself during a certain situation with the landlord, just let me know. If you are a landlord, want to know how to protect yourself or how to handle certain moves or whatever, or your first property, second property, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever it may be, or how to handle your taxes, just let me know. I'm still new to going live. I've only went live like twice, so be patient with me. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I think it's Amelia. Hopefully I said your name right. How you doing? Who is this? Uh, Sebastri. Hopefully you're doing well. But like I said, if you want to reach out to me, you can. I had a podcast. I still have a podcast, Real Estate for Beginners. You can find me on Casterbox. Used to be Casterbox, Apple, Spotify, whatever it may be. But Real Estate for Beginners. How we doing? Just talking about real estate. I'm not sure who this is. It's on. Um, but oh, if you have any questions about foreclosures,